Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us in the day 3 of Real E&E Engineering Series webinar. I'm Dr. Sin, today's moderator. It is a great honor that we have Associate Professor Engineer Dr. Pang Wai Leong with us today. Before we start, let me briefly introduce you the background of Associate Professor Engineer Dr. Pang. Associate Professor Engineer Dr. Pang Wai Leong is the Program Coordinator of Bachelor of Electronics Engineering from Faculty of Engineering at Multimedia University. He is also a certified trainer for Alibaba, Huawei, and HRDF. His research area is in wireless design and electronic design. He won the Altera Award in the year 2002 due to his outstanding research work in programmable devices and the microprocessor. He also won the Huawei National ICT Talent Seed Cultivation Award in the year 2014 due to his valuable contribution to the Huawei National ICT TSC initiative. He was appointed by Huawei Malaysia as a career coordinator in the year 2014. Without further ado, let's begin today's topic, upcoming E&E engineering, IC designer, a job prospect in IR 4.0. In our topic, it mentioned electrical and electronics engineering, IC design, and IR 4.0. Maybe Dr. Pang can enlighten us what these terms are and how they relate to each other's, of course, how they relate to our recent lifestyle. Go to you, Dr. Pang.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Sin, for your great introductions, and allowing me to share my thoughts on these great topics. So, E&E engineering is a very important part of our everyday life. The study of E&E engineering can involve large amount of power, such as power control engineering, large device like power stations, electric vehicles, so-called the EV, or small amount of power like the computer communications or information engineering, and small device that we use daily, such as tablet, iPad, and cell phones. So E&E is a key driver of Malaysia industry developments that contributing significantly to our country GDP growth, export earning, investment, and employment, and it also stimulates the growth of new economic cluster, particularly in relations to the manufacturing related service, such as the testing and engineering, as well as a trade service related to a global hub activities. So the industry act as a catalyst in the development of all other industries due to its propensity for innovations, let's say from commitments to capital investment and substantial funding for research and development. So this is what we happen now. This enhance the industry's value chain, the development of a pool of product design talents, and training of employees who can address issues such as intellectual property IP protections, licensing, and R&D spending. So for IC design, which is so-called the integrated design, is part of a large body of knowledge known as electronic engineering. In the discipline of electronic engineering, this is a process that known as a circuit design. The goal of circuit design is to assemble a collection of interconnect circuit elements that perform a specific object functions. The ability to add, multiply numbers is a simple example. To develop, let's say, of a microprocessor that execute computer instructions to play the apps or to perform a complex task is another example that we can give. And the circuit element that used in this process, right, begin with the fundamental building blocks, such as the transistor, resistor, capacitor, and wires. So these elements are combined to form more complex functions, such as logic gates or amplifiers, which are then combined to form a much more bigger, complex functions that we use in our daily life, such as adder, multiplier. So this process continue to build itself and resulting in a availability of increasingly complex circuit building blocks. So in MMU, the electronic 1, 2, 3 digital logic design, circuit theory, circuit and signals are the fundamental knowledge, right, that will be shared to our students that required as an IC designer. So that the one IC design techniques, right, such as the microelectronic circuit analysis and design, physical E, digital integrated circuit digital system, integrated VSI system, and processing and fabrication technology, I also cover in the program. So in order, right, to enable our graduate, right, to be a professional IC designer. So for IR 4.0, generally speaking, so IR 4.0 describe the growth of trends toward automations and data exchange. So which exchange in the technologies and process within the manufacturing industry, which include the Internet of Things, which is very hot now, which is IoT, the Industrial Internet of Things, IIoT. Then we have cyber, physical system, CPS, smart manufacturing, smart factories, cloud computing, artificial intelligence. So IR 4.0 takes the emphasis on digital technology from recent decades, right, to a whole new level with the help of interconnectivity through the IoTs, Internet of Things, by access to the real-time data and the introduction of the cyber physical system. So IR 4.0 also offer a comprehensive, interlinked, and holistic approach, right, to manufacturing. It connects physical with digital and allow for better collaborations and access across departments, partners, vendors, product, and people. So it empower the business owner, right, to have a better control and understanding every aspect of their operations and allow them to leverage, right, instant data to boost productivity, improve process, and drive the growth. So because of this, the government through MIDA has been encouraging, right, the manufacturers to establish more R&D and design and development center of excellence, global procurement centers, logistics center, and operation headquarters, right, in Malaysia. So E&E manufacturers are currently exploring the business potential that can be derived from new growth areas such as the e-commerce, automo- automations, IoT, and AI in order to accelerating to move towards the IR 4.0. So today, IoT is pushing demand for more advanced semiconductor device, such as the sensors, resistors, transceivers, and others IC modules in order to help the industry to adopt distinctions in order to improve the productivities, profit, and competitiveness. So the E&E manufacturing space is evolving because of all of these new technologies. As more companies, right, move into more knowledge intensive, high tech, innovative, and high value added activities with the availability, right, of this sophisticated talents pool, such as the IC designer segment. Okay, Malaysia is ready to shift forwards, right, into the development of autonomous vehicles, smart machine, and robotics. So AI provides huge future opportunity as the key technologies, right, that will drive the full connected industry 5.0, which are next levels. So AI future is dominance. We've helped the communities, right, to make accurate decisions due to precise forecasting capabilities and business process optimizations. So future industry mega trends, right, are forecast, right, to be shift heavily, right, the advancement made by the industry 4.0 pillars. Okay, thank you, Dr. Sin. I hope I answered all your questions.
Wow, this is a great explanation and sharing by Dr. Pang. Boosting by IR 4.0, I think there are many job opportunities that are created for the electrical engineer that involved inside the IR 4.0. So maybe Dr. Pang can share with the audience recently in Malaysia, what are the companies that involved in IR 4.0 and requested the involvement of electronics engineer. Furthermore, we hope Dr. Pang can share with us some job description of those positions. Of course, the most important is how much we can earn and how is the future of electronics engineer in this IR 4.0. Thank you, Dr. Pang.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Sin, for these good questions. Very interesting questions. So for in Malaysia, right, there are many semiconductor companies in Malaysia and also in other countries. This some of it that have close collaborations, right, with us, but not all, because I cannot list all this part of it. So for example, Intel, AMD, Texas Instruments, Huawei, Samsung Keysight, NXP, Sony, Western D with Western Digitals, On Semicon, Motorola, MCore, Texas, and so on. A few more. For example, let's say Toclove, TNB, DNB. So E&E engineers, right, can contribute, right, in various areas and practice as electronics engineers, product engineers, final test engineers, failure analysis engineers, quality control engineers, assembly engineers, maintenance engineer, embedded system developers, RF engineers, sales engineers, technical support engineers, machine learning engineers, big data engineers, software, or data scientists. So there are quite a lot, so I cannot name it all. These some of the example. So I give more example is, let's talk about a semiconductor company in Malaysia. So it consists of two department, which are the, you can categorize as a front end and back end. So in wafer fab, the wafer will be sent out from the wafer fab and shipped to the assembly. So the wafer are cut into the small dies, and the dies are assembled into the IC packaging. So wire bonding process will be carried out to create the interconnections between an IC or the dice, right, to its package. So the IC are sent to the next departments, right, to carry out the final test. So intensive, right, tests will be carried out in order to ensure the functionality, reliability, and the quality of the IC. So all the IC, right, that pass the final test will be verified by the quality control engineers, so-called the QC, before sending the IC, right, to the backend. So the IC will go one more final round check to check their physical conditions. So again, if everything okay, so all the good unit, right, will be sent to the customer. So from here is a very small basic, right, semiconductor company, right. It involves so many process. From there, right, you can create a lot of job opportunities. So a lot of manpower required for E&E engineers. So for the salary, right, according to the statement, right, given by the IEM, so the starting salary, right, for an E&E engineer, right, is around 3K. And there are various, like, career advancement opportunity for E&E engineer. And you also can categorize in two different tracks, which are technicals, managerial tracks. So for technical tracks, we start with as an engineers, followed by the senior engineers, staff engineers, then principal engineers, and distinguished engineers. So for managerial track, slightly different. So you also start from as an engineers, then to engineering managers, director of, followed by the director of engineering, vice president of engineering. So the average starting salary, right, in Malaysia, right, I can say that for an E&E engineers are around 3K to 4K. So for example, right, our fresh graduate, right, who joined a semiconductor company, right, recently, right, let's say in Penang, they got the offer around 4 to 4.5K. Okay. So from the recent news, right, actually it's quite encouraging. The global semiconductor sales, right, increased 6% from year to year. And there is a strong demand for the IC. So this had motivated, right, the semiconductor company, right, to invest more in Malaysia. So one of the example, right, that we have, so Intel has announced recently, right, to invest 30 billion in Malaysia to expand its manufacturing capabilities, right, in advanced semiconductor packaging, so that more young and talented engineers are needed to support, right, the high demand from the semiconductor industry. So our graduates are hired by the major player in the industry. Currently, there is a high demand from the industry to get more electronics engineers. Most of our students, right, already got the job offer before they graduate. We also receive, right, many requests from our industry counterparts to express their intentions, right, to hire our graduates. As our graduate quality that is good and the electronics program, right, that offer, right, by MMU is in line with the industry needs. So thank you, Dr. Sin. So any others?
Okay, thank you, Dr. Pang. So for a very great sharing here. Okay, so from what you explained just now, I think the student that study from the electronics engineer is quite versatile for their future. they not only can go for the technical engineer, but they also can go for the managerial track, right? So I think it's quite a very versatile, and then it's actually a very big opportunity. So from here, I found out if you study on electronics engineer, is not saying that your path is just go for the electronics, which is very technical, but you also can join as a manager, then up to become a vice president, even the president of the company, right? So it's actually a quite an entrepreneurship program that the electronics engineering have, right? So far, I know MMU is offering Bachelor of Electronics Engineering in the coming June intake. Okay, so maybe we can have Dr. Pang to explain to us how the degree from MMU is different from other university, what the student will study, and how the graduate from this degree can support in the development of IR 4.0. So maybe we can hear the sharing from Dr. Pang.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Sim. Okay, in terms of these wonderful questions, right? Okay, can say that one of the unique selling point is MMU is the first private university in Malaysia. Okay, so all the engineering programs right offer at MMU right are EAC and MQA accredited. So in order to ensure right our program is in line with the industry needs. So we have a lot of industry counterpart that are working closely with us. So I can name few of it. For example, let's say Dato Seri Wong is one of our industry advisor panel. He's also the chairman of the Malaysia's American Electronics Industry and the chairman of a E&E Productivity Nexus. So we also have a Dr. Angie Ng and Engineer Dr. Lee, who is from Intel, and also Mr. Yo from MCore. So all these are the main players in the electronic industry. So beside the industry counterpart, we also have the uh, very good external examiners. For example, currently we have a Professor Dr. Chang Joseph Sylvester, who is from NTU, Singapore. So for NTU, right, with the first right, QX top 50 USD. So with the Prof. Chang help, right, we can maintain our academic qualities so that it can help give us a lot of constructive suggestion in order to make our program is comparable with the NTU degree. So that we have more than 80% of our teaching staff, right, with PhD, and 40% of our teaching staff with the professional qualifications. So we also uh, introduce right the A to G, but plus the IoT skill set. So this A to G are embedded in the learning activity to embrace right the opportunities right and challenges in the age of IR 4.0 and beyond. So A to G means A for AI, B for blockchain, C for cybersecurity, D for data literacy, E for energies, F for fiber, and G for 5G plus the IoTs. So the graduates are ready for the fourth industry revolutions. We are the FOE A to G curriculum frameworks. So in terms of the facilities, right? So FOE have more than 27 teaching labs. in order to support right the engineering program in the faculties. So we have a electronics lab 1, electronics lab 2, Intel micro multi-core labs, project labs, Intel advanced architecture labs, Intel microelectronics lab, microfabrication labs, ideals lab, PCB workshops, embedded system and DSP lab, microprocessor labs, Panasonics labs, etc. So this another right fruitful outcome that will harvest right from our industry collaboration. We have a new 5G base stations. The collaborations with the Telecom Malaysia's. We have a new 5G equipments from ZTE, and also the uh, vertical farming right that we have right that set up and which collaborations right with the industry. So for your informations, actually the Huawei and Telecom also carry out their 5G right trials right at MMU. So our students right have the opportunity to experience the 5G's testing. So the students is able to gain right practical experience to all these hands-on courses such as the embedded IoT system and applications, project management, capstone and final year projects to all this facility that we have. So electronics engineering is an expanding area at the core of many existing innovations, ranging from manufacturing, automations, medical, and transportations. So we support our students right, in gaining professional skill that have high value by the industry. So our graduates are fully prepared for either work with industry in the industry right, or further their postgraduate study. So this program is designed in consulting with the industry expert, keeping it with the current and relevant to prepare our graduates right for an exciting career in various industries ranging from electronic industries to multi-discipline manufacturing segment. Students have the chance to carry out right the research project. So by using this kind of facility that we have, in a specific, in a specialized electronics area, and experience industrial-based learning in a 4-year program. So various elective track such as IC design, embedded technologies, multimedia technologies, nanotechnologies, and data engineering right, are available for the students to select. So the students right, can select according to their interests in order to support IR 4.0. We have various research facility to support the students. So we also receive a lot of good comment and feedback from our alumni. They are satisfied with our facility, such as the lecture hall, tutorial room, labs, hostel, and sports facility. They are also appreciate right, the up-to-date knowledge right, that was delivered in the program and the other skill set learned enable them right to become a successful engineer. So the career fair that organized right annually significantly right helps our graduates and students right to secure jobs. So students are encouraged to join various competitions to publish their works uh, in the conference or the journal papers. So various industry talks and industry visit, right, are carried out to strengthen the students' knowledge in the new technologies, real engineering industry, and the recent industry trends. So this is some of the visit and workshop that organized for our students. So many curriculum activities are available for our students. So our students also involved, right, in the sport, clubs, society, voluntary, and part-time works. This is a great way to meet new people, enjoy the time at university, and ensure students, right, strike a healthy balance between the study and their social life. So this activity help the students, right, to learn about themselves and develop and use their skill and knowledge in different contexts. So such activity, right, are an essential element of the UC experience. So all the employers are looking for graduates who have a range of skill, personal qualities, and experience, which will help them to be productive in the workspace. Work. So some of the activities, right, and the students' achievement, right, are shown in the following slide. So all of these are our alumni. They have a good achievement in all the competitions. And these are some of the successful alumni, for example, from MMU. So they are very successful in various industry. So I hope I answer all your questions, Dr. Sid. So pass back to you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Pang. It's actually a very great sharing from you about the electronics engineering degrees in MMU. So from what you're sharing, I can conclude that this degree is not only train the students to become a very technical person in the electronics engineering, then it's also need to train the students to become very well organized in maybe in their social life, and also especially the um, work life work life balance. Okay, because they need to actually study their work, and then as well as they need to join the society, so that they are actually have a preparations for them to actually organize the time very well. Okay, so I think this is also a soft skill that actually required by the industry recently on the students, how actually they can organize something. Okay, so by the students participating all the activities that available in MMU, then they actually can learn this kind of soft skill, especially for when we come to the entrepreneurship mindset. These organizations organizing activities can actually to train them in their entrepreneurship mind as well, right? So I think this degree is not only train the students to become a technical person, that also prepare them to become an entrepreneur. Okay, so thank you for the great sharing from Dr. Pang. I think the audience know the future of electronic engineers in IR 4.0 and well understand the electronic engineering degree that offer in MMU. If you want to find out more about electronic engineering degree, please go to MMU website and make an appointment with us. We have come to the end of this webinar. So you can find the attendance form link in our Facebook chat and also the YouTube live chat, okay, uh, message box. So once you fill in the attendance form, you can claim the e-certification of attendance. So in the next coming hour, which is from 11 to 12, we will have another webinar. So if you're interested in IoT mobile robot, please stay with us in the coming next hour. And very thank you for Dr. Pang's time for us to have a sharing uh, on the IR 4.0, the IC design, the jobs prospect that is bring to this industry on the electronics engineering field, as well as the future of electronics engineers, and also briefly introduce us what is the MMU degree in electronic engineering, as well as their student activities, as well as the technical study that having in the electronics engineering degree. So thank you everyone for watching and have a nice day. So that's all for our webinar. Thank you for joining us again.